Have you ever noticed that at certain times, no matter how much you try to take a deep breath, you just can't? Like it won't go all the way in? You inhale and it just stops short, or your shoulders lift, or your chest tightens, and the breath never really drops into you. And maybe you've been told, just relax, take a deep breath. But what if your body can't? Because it's protecting you. Well, today I want to talk about why the breath can feel like it's stuck and why forcing it just won't work. Because your nervous system is usually holding your breath for a very good reason. And if you can work with it, you can make all the difference. So I'll guide you through a few gentle ways to invite breath back by working with the nervous system without forcing or pushing or trying to fix it. Because if your breath feels guarded, your body isn't failing you, it's communicating something, and it's best if you listen. So most people assume breathing issues that are just mechanical, like something's up with your lungs or your posture or poor breathing habits. But in my work, I've come to see breath is almost never just about oxygen. It's about one of the fastest ways that you can tune into the nervous system and work with it to soften everything. Because when your system perceives threat, whether it's physical threat or emotional threat or threat in relationship to who's around you, the breath naturally shortens. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be threat in your immediate environment right now that you even see. It can be something that's triggered from long ago. So you want to know how to manage that. Because when you get short of breath, your diaphragm braces, the ribs become stiffer, and breath tends to go to the upper ribs, which go quickly breathing, ready for fast action. And that has a huge effect on your brain. Your body will start to limit movement until it understands the danger around you. And many times you don't even know what it is. And as I said, the important bit is that your system doesn't necessarily distinguish a danger that's happened in the past and one that's happening now. So if you've ever had trauma, and who today isn't realizing we've all had trauma. If you've had to live through trauma where you had to stay quiet, alert, responsible, strong, your breath may have learned to stay small. Not because you're an anxious type, but because your body learned that full expansion wasn't safe. So what do you do about it? This is why forcing deep breathing can actually increase your tension. Have you ever noticed that? It's like the nervous system's trying to guard you and protect you, and you're telling it with your upper brain, or the lower brain's trying to protect you, override that guard, and it pushes back. You may notice if you override that your jaw wants to tighten up and your shoulders lift and your chest working even harder, and you may start to feel dizzy or even more anxious or frustrated. It's not failure. It's not failure of the system. It's protection. And your breath doesn't need to be controlled. It wants to be invited through safety, not effort. So let's talk for a minute about where breath restriction usually lives. Where does it come from? Because when breath feels stuck, you'll often feel tightness in the throat and jaw, stiff ribs, especially up here. They don't want to move sideways or back. And the diaphragm, the solar plexus, can feel really braced instead of responsive. So your pelvis and your belly feel like they can't soften. And it's not an isolated thing. It's like a whole body survival pattern that you're working with. And that whole body pattern will limit breath to limit sensation and prepare you. The less sensation you have, the less vulnerability, your primitive brain says. So that pattern is unconscious. It's like automatic. Here's the good news. Patterns change, and they change most deeply when you work with the nervous system instead of trying to force things to change. So let's work on a breath mobilizing, softening exercise. And this can be the foundation too for the breath work you do in yoga, like pranayama. First, get yourself ready so you can be seated or standing. There's nothing you have to get right. You can do this anywhere. So the first thing when you notice the breath stiff is to orient outward. So let your eyes move around the space you're in and let them drop softly on things and just notice. You can even say to yourself, blue sky, lamp, dog. Keep breathing naturally. This tells the nervous system, I'm here, I'm safe enough to notice, to look around and be present. It's often helpful to keep the head still and the eyes moving. The breath should already start to unwind a little bit. Try this. Just move your eyes to one side and keep them there. It doesn't have to be hard or forced. Just hold them to one side. You can even do this with your eyes closed. Keep your eyes to one side, head forward. Notice how it feels. There's a little bit of a subtle shift. Get good at noticing the subtleties. This is the nervous system inside starting to go from a sympathetic, fight or flight, fawn or freeze, to a parasympathetic, rest, restore, relax. So keep breathing naturally and notice when it's enough with the eyes. You can bring it back. And now let's look at the jaw. Let your tongue rest gently behind your front teeth. Your molars float apart. No forcing, just allowing it. I'm going to invite you to put your fingertips at the sides of the jaw, right under the cheekbone, and press in firmly, both sides. It may be tender. Let the lower jaw slide open even more. You're going to press on these really tense points and hold until they begin to melt. As you very slowly trace your hand downward for 10 to 15 slow seconds. Jaw apart, tongue parked behind the front teeth. Once again, you can let your eyes go to the side. You're giving information through the jaw into the autonomic nervous system of, I got you, relax. And let your hands come off, and now just notice how you feel. You can close your eyes or just turn inward. Feel inside your body. What's it like? And now here's another beautiful hack. Put your hands on the sides or the back of your ribs, okay? Inhale softly through your nose and feel the breath moving sideways and backwards, not up and not in the front. Push the ribs out behind you. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Doesn't need to be big breaths, just ease. Feel the ribs moving behind and apart and notice subtly, how do you feel? Maybe again, your eyes are to the side. Just let them swing out when it feels like enough. Move them to the other side. Breathe in the low back. Notice. It's subtle. But you may already notice your breath is beginning to shift naturally, and you don't even have to think about it. So now you've kind of set the stage at the base of the thoracic spine. Soften the jaw. Let your ear be over your shoulder, over your hip. If you're standing, your hips over your ankles. And begin a very small sway. Imagine someone was holding the base of the spine and rocking, moving. Maybe a rotation. Like seaweed. Think of kelp in water. It's rooted, but it's responsive. And keep breathing in the low back. Let your breath find its way within the motion. This internal awareness you're bringing begins to deeply anchor out of alarm mode into safety mode. The whole nervous system begins to quiet with the eye movement, the breath in the low back, the softening of the jaw. So if you're noticing even a small shift, more space, more softness, just pause for a moment and acknowledge it, because these are tiny habits. And as you keep doing it, the nervous system starts to realize, oh, you're there, you're present. Rather than it needing to be in a subconscious protection mode, you're bringing your conscious awareness to it. And that's what begins to shift even long-held patterns of trauma. Be kind to yourself in it. If this resonates with you, take a second and like the video, subscribe. It helps this work reach people who really need it. It's harder and harder to get to practitioners nowadays. And I really love to be creating things that can make a difference, these guided experiences. We've got to help each other out. All right, so let's bring it home. When your breath starts to move more freely with these practices, it's not just physical. People will often notice that they have emotions inside that surface, like a sense of sadness or relief. Just let it be. Amplify it even, and keep practicing. You may notice that your head feels clearer, lighter. It's easier to think. You feel more grounded, easier to be in the present moment. That's integration. That is your body updating its internal map of safety that you're bringing to it. And it does not happen through force or scolding or pressure. It always happens through kindness and attention and gentle repetition, tiny habits. Link this low back rib breathing to every time your phone rings or whenever you're at a red light. Do it when you're brushing your teeth. Even a few minutes a day can begin to shift a lifetime of patterning. So when you notice the breath feels stuck, ask yourself not what's wrong with me, but what's my body trying to protect me from? And even if you don't get an answer, it's okay. The breath isn't broken, it's intelligent. So if you don't get an answer, it's okay. Let the body experience your presence. Eyes to the side, tongue behind your top lip, jaw release, moving gently like kelp. Very importantly, breathing in the low back rib over and over. Because when you listen instead of pushing, the body can remember softly how to move again because it's safe. So if this video helped, let me know in the comments. What did you notice in your body? What else would you like to learn about that? And if you want more practices like it, make sure you're subscribed. Move gently, my friends. Breathe with permission. Your body already knows how to come back to itself. Just help it be more present. And thank you. See you guys later.